Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Sara Wiseman. Today we're going to talk about chakras. Actually, we're going to talk about chakras. And I wanted to talk about chakras because a lot of you guys come from energy healing or meditation or yoga world, and chakra is a term that you use in terms of your own healing or your own balancing. And I think what I want to say is from what I've received in channeling, chakras has been not a term that they've used a lot with me. A lot of you guys know I'm married to Dr. Steve Koch, and he has worked extensively in master energy healing and extensively in chakra balancing and so forth, especially using sound healing and sound therapy. And I know not just his work, but I know tons and tons of people in energy healing modality, and I really, really respect that. So it's curious to me, why has the idea of chakra has not come into my own work? And one reason I would think is, at some level, I think my work is a little less potentially Eastern and possibly a little more either. I'm going to just use these really lightly, but either slightly more Taoist or maybe Buddhist, not exactly, probably not, a little more Nordic, Celtic. It's coming from a slightly different tradition where chakras have not been utilized. And as I've been working more lately with the Star Guides, which is a new channeling channel that's opened up, they don't talk about chakras at all, because they're like, we're not dealing with the human body as something very particularly important. We're dealing with all living creatures, and so things are set up differently. So chakras, I respect them. I think that they're a key part of energy healing. And then also, the guides have not told me about them very much. So when they do, I sort of pay attention. And here's what they say. There's one little piece. Nothing is not filled. You may be accustomed to thinking of chakras, the energy centers in the human container, as something like a wheel or a circle, and you may know already how to move that energy in a circle or whorl or sphere, and how to create activation there. You may already know the 7 and also the multitude of chakras or energy centers that are held throughout your body, in meridians and outside of meridians. In fact, each cell is filled with chakras. There is nothing that is not filled. You might consider this as a way of understanding the consciousness that permeates everything, all living things and also all non-living things. This will go against what you have been taught, but hear it again. There is nothing that is not filled with a chakra, whorl, gathering, or center that is not consciousness. So this really helped me understand why I haven't been given chakras as a way of looking at things in particular, because they are more focused on providing me with the understanding of particulate, which is going smaller, 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 to that idea of particulate consciousness versus chakra consciousness or cell consciousness or body consciousness or planetary consciousness or something different. So going to the smallest aspect. And here they continue. Consciousness centers. Your body is teeming with chakras, or rather consciousness centers, or places where there is gathered or collected consciousness. No place in your body does not have this. No place does not have. Okay, so every place in your body has the particulate smaller than the cell, smaller than the electron, this very mite of consciousness that cannot be seen or measured but always is. And the non-sentient, the non-living, or the non-aware, these also have chakras or energy centers or aspects of gathered consciousness. Even if you believe that something must be living to have consciousness, this is not so. Open your mind, receive a new thought, become free and know what is. When you consider the red lotus in your heart and allow it to bloom to its fullest extent, and then to bloom more, then you are participating in this process and will begin to understand. And this makes me immediately want to go find what they said about the red lotus. I'm going to go back, and I think that's in the table of contents. Sorry, I should have looked ahead for that one. Anyway, we'll come back. Oh, here we go. Okay, well, that came before. Okay, we're going to head back to that in just a second because I want to talk a little bit before we get into that part. I think if you want to use chakra as a point, or you want to use meridian as a point of understanding, or you want to use auras as a way to understand, or you want to use tone or frequency as a way to understand, or you want to use dimension, you want to use time like past, present, future, past lives, future, knowing. All of it's fine. If you want to use your body as, the body keeps the score, the body can't lie to you, the body's always telling you what is, that's fine too. This bigger idea of chakras as a gathering point of consciousness will help you understand, like, okay, if I'm working on my throat chakra, then I am working on the gathering point where I associate the voice and expression. If I'm working on my third chakra, which I call the personal power chakra, then we're working on the point where I'm dealing with how I stand up in the world, or what my boundaries are, or my feeling about my ability to make my way in the earthly world, the worldly world. And then I've always been relating chakra to color, and this is like on a frequency level. So some of you are going to be like, what is she talking about? And others of you are like, yeah, I get that. So, chakra, root chakra, red, the frequency of red is a way to associate that energy of root chakra, which is stability, security, becoming free from fear. Orange is second chakra, creativity, reproduction, sexuality. And you just kind of, sometimes if you can't remember what the chakra means in words, you can go to the color and have that sense of, oh yeah, I feel the flow of what this color brings to me. When I focus on green, I can feel my heart, like the green color is this vibrational level or frequency that we can work from the chakra. So understanding that one specific thing may work, but you can also add other things. And overall, you don't need, here's the radical part, you don't need any of it. You don't need chakras, you don't need color, you don't need dimension, you don't need elements, you don't need astrology. All of these things are amazing. And yet when you get down to the nitty-gritty of what everything's about, it's about consciousness. And so you could just throw away all the systems, and again, as we talked last time, you can just become that drop in the ocean. part of, still aware of the self, still aware of everything, part of, and be in that place. Now, I've been receiving a lot of notes and letters from people who are just starting on the path, and I think it's important to remember that this understanding, just by hearing this kind of stuff from me, or there's some other people that are teaching these ideas, just from hearing it, you're going to be like, okay, I don't know what that is, but I remember that. I know that that's a truth for me. I can feel it. So that's going to happen. You're just going to feel this like, yes, that's a yes. Other times you're going to have a lot of frustration because, you want to be on the spiritual path. Yay, that's good. And you feel like it's such a far jump, or maybe you even feel like you're so unworthy to get to this place of soul understanding, or maybe you feel like you're too good for it, like there's a lot of way, or maybe you're like, I don't want to be spiritual because that's really boring. Well, it's not boring. It's not boring. It's much more interesting than all the misery of a regular life that's just the worldly ideas. But there can be this frustration because it seems like it's such a big leap, but it's not really. If you can avoid the pitfall of attaching too much to any particular system or belief system, and maybe you can't, maybe that's part of your path, like you have to, say, move from old, punitive, conservative, punishing ideas to new agey systems that are maybe not really, they're more childish, or they're more manipulative, or they're reliant upon a lot of rules and regulations. You have to take the 8 steps up, and you have to have this diet, and like that. Okay, but you have to do that in order to get away from where you started. And then you start to move into this place of more relaxing. And then the universe starts to come in and sort of take it over for you. Like once you decide you want to be on the path, and once you start dropping away from all these systems that are, again, created from the mind, the universe starts to come and meet you halfway. And that is the point of time when you start to notice, maybe you'll have a near-death experience, possibly, or maybe you'll just start to notice this level of synchronicity coming in that, you can't even believe that is happening. Or maybe your awareness, you'll have a dream. That's what I would call a vision dream or prophetic dream, and just something will change for you. Or maybe you'll, from all of these experiences, have the strength and tenacity to break out of toxic relationships and get your boundaries really good and stop your addictions. And, so as you change, the universe starts to meet you more and more and more. And, of course, the universe has always been meeting you. You just maybe weren't paying attention and aware of it. I want to go back to this Red Lotus piece and see what they... Oh, okay, I know what this is. Okay, Red Lotus. We are asked how to open the heart. So for this purpose of this discussion, we'll think of the heart as your heart chakra, right? We are asked how to open the heart. Here is an idea to consider. Imagine your heart as a flower in your chest. You might picture your heart as a red lotus, the red lotus of compassion. Or you might picture your heart as a sacred heart, the sacred heart of Jesus. Or you might picture your heart as Anandakanda, the inner heart within the heart, the secret sanctum heart, waiting to be known. Or you might have another tradition in your religion or mythos that will work for you. Now, notice this within your chest. The red lotus, the sacred heart, the Ananda Kanda, your own sacred jewel in the center of the seat of the soul, and watch as it expands. You do not have to do anything, simply notice it open. And then it continues on to the feeling how you feel as the heart expands from bud to bloom, small to large, contained to open, secret to seen. You will notice your emotional state moves from constricted to expanded, and you will begin to feel less tightly bound, less petty, less angry, less hurt, less vulnerable, less wounded. You will feel all of this as your heart moves from constricted to expanded, and as your consciousness opens from human distraction and misbelief into the vastness that is the soul experiencing itself. You do not have to apply a particular problem or question or query to this experience. It is enough to simply imagine the process of the heart unfolding as red lotus, as sacred heart, as Ananda Kanda, or as something else, and you, it's experiencing it all, feeling how you feel. So in this case, they're using the heart, the red lotus as the heart chakra. And they are opening that chakra, or whatever term you want to use, into consciousness, I am aware it's a journey, right? I've been doing this a long time. Before I was doing this, I was failing rapidly on the ladder of success that the worldly world wants, right? Like nothing was working. Nothing was working. And I am aware how long it takes to kind of let go of all your identities and let go of everything the world is telling you, and let go of, the habitual mind, and let go of the toxic relationships. But it can be done. And I would say that I'm not particularly, I'm a very fast learner, but I'm very stubborn. So a lot of my path was just resistance. I was just resisting the universe. So if you are a person that can be a little more accepting, this journey can go much faster for you if that's what you want to do. Okay, we'll be back next time. Thank you for listening. Please go to the website. Lots of new stuff happening there, sarawiseman.com, and we'll see you next time.